recording. Okay, so how did the video call go before we get started? Does anybody have any questions? Anything they were confused about? No. Okay, then I'm actually going to share my screen and I'm going to ask you guys some questions and we're going to try and go through some stuff together. Share screen. All right, can everyone see it? Yeah, thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I can't see it. I have too much stuff up. Okay. So, C, what does C stand for?
Circumstance.
Circumstance. Okay, now someone other than Sarah has to answer next.
Wait.
What is a circumstance?
A fact.
A fact, right? Everyone in the world agrees on it. I can't spell, so don't make fun of my spelling. Right? Everyone in the world agrees. Why did it do that? All right, what's T stand for?
Thought.
A thought.
Thought. Good job, Audra. Okay, what's a thought?
Something
Audra?
that you think.
Oh, something you think. Thank you, Steph. That's fine. Something you think. Yes. Audra, what were you going to say?
Kind of like a feeling that you can't do it or something.
Yeah. So F is going to be feeling. So the thought's going to create your feeling. So I like where you're going with that. Who else is in this call? I don't like it this way. I can't see everybody. Scroll through. Meredith. Do you have anything to add to what a thought is?
Maybe an opinion.
Yes, opinion. That's a really good one. I'm going down my line. Evelyn.
I don't know, just something you think.
Something you think. Yes. Thinking. I'll just put thinking on there. I'm going to add judgment. Okay. I forgot that. Told you I can't spell today. Judgments. I just got done running, so my brain stopped working. There's no blood flow anymore. Okay. Feeling. What's a feeling? You guys learned a lot about feelings last week. We are to, I can't even see it. There's a no name on this black screen. We'll go to do.
It's kind of hard. I don't know what to say. It's like something you feel.
Something you feel when in the video, a feeling was described as Izzy. Do you have something to add?
It's like what the thought causes. So
Yes, it comes from the thought. I love that. Stephanie?
I'd say like the way your body reacts to your thought.
Yes. So I would say this can be like a release of hormones, vibrations, endorphins, all sorts of stuff. Okay. So that's a feeling. And Izzy already answered, but I'm just going to make sure that we're all on the same page. Kendall, is that you there?
Yeah.
Yes. Kendall, where do our feelings come from?
Your thought or like your idea.
Yes, your thought, not the circumstance. That's like the number one thing that you guys have learned now, right? We learned the difference between the circumstance and the thought. We learned that circumstances can't make you feel. Your thoughts make you feel. And then let's go to Audra. Do you know what the A stands for?
Action.
Actions. Amazing. It's not letting me write in here. There we go. Actions. What types of actions might you take in this period? Sarah.
It's like you might resist or run away or react to
Yes.
your thought.
Yeah. So you get that feeling and you either want to resist, run away, or react. And that's a lot of the times the things that are happening. So it's like what you do, what you don't do, what you don't do, and kind of what's going on in your brain. Right? No matter what, resisting, reacting, any of those things is going to fit into you doing something, you not doing something, or what's going on in your brain. Does that make sense? So this would be like taking extra turns, or it could be like avoiding turns and getting in the chalk. It could be eating a snack instead of dealing with your sadness. I do that a lot, right? It could be any of those things. And so all of your actions, what you do and what you don't do, actually create what? What's the R stand for, Meredith?
I don't know.
You're not sure. Audra, you look ready.
Result.
Yes, your result. So the result, this can be a little bit confusing. And so once we do the example, I think it's going to be easier. But your result is always going to directly come from your thought. So if your thought is, I can't do it, and you are feeling annoyed, then you're going to take actions that typically lead to you not being able to do it. So it'll be like a direct impact. Like your thought is going to get proven true because your brain does not like to be wrong. So if you say, that's why I always tell you guys in practice, like when you're like, well, this is going to be a bad one, or I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm like, well, now that's true, because if you think that you're not going to be able to do it, you're going to take actions that lead to you not being able to do it. That's just how the brain works. Another option would be not even giving yourself the opportunity to learn. So this would be like balking, like not even going or avoiding it to a point of not going. So you might not be proving the thought true. You might just not even be giving yourself a chance to even try it. Okay. And then the last option is like a direct reflection. So this comes up a lot when we're talking about like relationships. So sometimes, let's say one of your friends does something that you thought was mean, okay? And your thought was, I hate that person, okay? Not a nice thought, so don't have it, but I'm just saying, I hate that person. And then you're probably feeling like your feelings are hurt. And sometimes when you feel like your feelings are hurt, you react in a way that's not super nice back, right? You're like, you say something mean to them, or you ignore them, or there's things that you might do that you don't normally do in a friendship. And then the result is you end up hating how you act. So like how you are thinking about somebody else reflects on how you're feeling about yourself. So like that person is mean, and then you end up acting in a mean way. Does that make sense? So I can't do this to you actually not being able to do it. Thinking that person is mean, reflecting on you, where you end up being mean, or not doing anything at all where you don't even get a chance. Those are like the three ways that results tend to show up. And so let's do an example. Does anybody want to volunteer to give me a circumstance other than Sarah, because she did it last week? Anybody? Anybody?
I can do it, I guess.
Who is that? Izzy? Thanks, Izzy. All right. What?
Front
What?
pull-off.
Front
Front
pull
half.
off beam. Front half. It's not letting me type again. Front half dismount off beam. Right? Have you been doing some thought downloads about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me some of your thoughts that you're having about doing it?
I'm gonna hit the beam or not make it around. I'm not gonna like it.
I'm not gonna like it. Which one of those thoughts feels most real to you? Like, does one come up the most, or like that you just like is really holding you back from doing it?
I'm gonna hit the beam.
Okay. Okay, so when you think I'm gonna hit the beam, what's your one word emotion that you get from that?
Unsure. Sad emotion.
Unsure, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, how many of you can just raise your hand, how many of you would feel unsure to do a skill if you think you might hit the beam? My point of saying that is it's super normal, right? If you think you're gonna hit the beam, you're gonna feel some sort of fear, some anxiousness, stress, unsureness, hesitation, right? Like a lot of times that's a common reaction. Okay, so I kind of want everybody to answer this. I want you to think of a skill that you feel unsure doing. Everybody think of a skill that you feel unsure doing. Does everybody have one? Write it down. Okay, then I want you to write why you feel unsure doing it. This is going to be your thought that's making you feel this way, right? Because it's not actually the skill that you're unsure about, it's your thoughts that's making you feel unsure. So why are you feeling unsure about it? All right, some other people share with me their skill and their unsure thought. Meredith, what skill are you unsure about?
Back handspring on beam.
Yeah, why are you unsure?
Because my feet might slip and I might not
Yeah.
land right.
Yeah. Kendall, what are you feeling unsure about?
Handspring.
Surprise, you two can buddy up then. Why do you feel unsure?
Just like jumping backwards into the second back handspring, my foot's gonna slip.
Yeah. Audra?
A double back handspring on floor because I feel like I'm gonna hit my head when I do the second.
Yeah. I would definitely feel unsure too, right? If I thought my feet were gonna slip, if I don't know if my hands are gonna get on the beam, if all those things that you guys are just explaining, for sure I'm gonna feel unsure in that moment. So what I want you to do now is really look inside and think, okay, when I'm feeling unsure, what actions do I take? And I want everybody to kind of think of what actions they take. And we're going to add them all to the list. So Izzy, normally I would just add your actions, but I want everybody to participate. But I'll let you lead off. When you're feeling unsure, what actions do you take? Can you give me one, Iz?
Don't go as aggressively.
Yeah, so you hold back. Whoops. Sarah, what do you do when you are feeling unsure?
I might do it in a spot that I'm more capable of doing it. So like I might go in the pit like forever instead of moving it up.
Oh yeah, so a more comfortable landing.
Yes.
Or a lower beam if you're on beam. Let's see. Evelyn, what do you do when you're unsure?
I might not go for it.
Yeah, so not go at all. Let's see who else. Audrey, you had one? What do you do?
I might do it on the tumble track a few times and then go on the floor and do it.
Yeah, so stay at a more comfortable area. Most of the time, we're feeling unsure because we're trying to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, right? Like that's literally how you reach goals is you go through discomfort and have to try something new. and then you have to do it, and then you have to move forward, right? Like you have to be able to be like, okay, I can either be uncomfortable going now, or I can be uncomfortable when I go home and know that I didn't do what I wanted to do. So you're gonna experience discomfort no matter what. I like to explain it that way. No matter what, you're gonna be uncomfortable. But then you get to choose, where do you want to be uncomfortable? Do you want to be uncomfortable by getting yourself to take the next step? Or do you want to be uncomfortable because later on you're not in the place that you want to be in? So either way, you'll feel this discomfort. But I like to explain that as you're saying you're staying in a more comfortable area. So in the moment, it feels good. This is your brain, right? Like being like, this is safe. This is what you should do. But later, it's going to be way less comfortable. Who has not answered recently? Dupe. What do you do?
I get more chalk.
Yeah. The classic, get more chalk. Okay, so now I want you to think about, this is all the things that you're doing. Some of you actually picked things that you don't do, right? Like you don't go, you don't push yourself to take it to the next level. You don't get more chalk, right? Some of the things you are doing is holding back. And so let's think about now, like what's going on in your head, because that's a part of this. Are you somebody who is being nice to yourself in this moment, or are you being mean to yourself in this moment? Do you know what I mean? Like, are you saying like, why can't you do this? You're so horrible. Or are you like fake pepping it up? Like, you got this, just go, just go, just go, right? Like there's kind of those two levels. Stephanie, what do you do when you feel unsure?
I'm usually more negative.
Yeah. So negative self-talk. All right. And then there's another way to look at it too. People start becoming open or closed. And what I mean to that is like, you're open to hearing feedback, to being with your teammates, to learning, to being in that opportunity, or you're closed off and you're shut down. Like, you know how when a coach like tells you correction when you're like nervous and you're kind of like, please stop telling me that, I just need to go, right? Like that's being like shut down and closed, because you're not even in a place of allowing yourself to think that it's going to help you. You're just in a place of like, I just have to do what I got to do. So who hasn't answered in a hot second? Sarah.
I think for me, I go into a more closed environment because I like don't want to talk to anybody because I'm mad at myself. So I kind of stay in my own zone.
Yeah, for sure.
Dogs being loud at the back. Sorry.
You're fine. Mine's like sniffing the, what is it called? The deck. So it's being the worst. Yeah, Audra.
I might not do it the day that I have gymnastics, but I might do it on a different day.
Okay, so you might like just postpone it, do it later. Who has like that next time syndrome? Oh, did I lose y'all? Are you there? I froze for a second.
Uh,
So you kind of postpone it, do it later. Yeah, is she there? Oh, she's muted. That's fine. Okay. So closed-minded, postponed, negative self-talk, stay in a more comfortable area, get more chalk, not go at all, hold back. When you're in this, when you're doing these things, all of these things, do you think you're more or less likely to hit the beam? Izzy?
More.
Right. So basically, in this moment, you're setting yourself up to not do your best and to more likely prove this spot as an option. That's just like those people who are like, I knew I was going to split the beam on this one. Who's done that? Dupe, I'm pretty sure I've heard you say that before. Okay. Like I knew,
Probably.
or I knew this was going to happen on this one. Most likely because you had the thought this might happen, and then you end up taking actions that end up being that happening. Okay. So the feeling isn't the reason that you are creating your result. The actions you take out of the feeling is what ends up being how you get your results. So let's go through this. So you have a circumstance that's completely neutral. It means nothing. It's just a fact. You give it meaning with your thought. Your thought is giving that circumstance meaning. So I'm going to hit the beam, gives it meaning, which makes you feel unsure. And when you feel unsure, these are the actions that it takes. The vibrations that are sent to your body, like the tenseness, all the things that you feel that you talked about with Coach Stacy last week, like that is creating these actions. And then you're setting yourself up to not do your best gymnastics, to possibly hit the beam or do some of those things that you don't want to happen. So I promise it gets better from here. So the first 3 weeks are a little rough. You're like, why are you making me think about all these horrible things, right? You start with like, what are all these negative thoughts that you have? And then you go to like, okay, now these thoughts that I'm having are creating these negative feelings that I don't want. And now you're making me sit here and feel them. Did any of you practice processing an emotion over the last week? Anybody have an emotion that they didn't like and they actually tried to process it? Did the little now acronym? I can't say that word. Okay, that's what I challenge you to do, because here's the deal. Processing the emotion allows you to make the decision if you want to take action out of it. Okay, because you know where I'm going with this. We're going to find a new thought. Next week, you're going to learn a lot about how to find a new thought that's going to help you. We're going to do a little bit of that today. I don't have that much time, but the whole idea is this is your unintentional model. So this is just what's happening. You're not on purpose going to practice thinking that this is what you want to happen. This is your brain doing its thing, trying to save your life and protect you and conserve energy and do all the things it's supposed to do. And then this is the result of that. Okay. So this is you just recognizing that that's happening. Okay. I'm recognizing that I think that I'm going to hit the beam, which makes me feel unsure. And when I feel unsure, I do not take actions that help me do my best gymnastics. And in order to move on to your actual next thought and next emotion, you have to be okay with this one being there. You have to be okay with the fact that you're feeling unsure because you're going to hit the beam. You want to have unsure feelings when you think that you're in danger, but that doesn't mean you have to act out of those feelings. Does that make sense? So you can feel unsure, process unsure, and then not do all of that that's highlighted. That part does not have to happen. Okay, so we're going to do this really quick. I might give you some answers just to make sure we get done on time. And next week, you're going to learn how to do this more in depth, but I kind of want you to understand the process. When somebody tries to flip a thought, have you guys heard of like doing thought flipping before? The two main reasons that people can't do that is because one, they're not dealing with this feeling. They're either pretending like it's not there, avoiding it, doing all the things. They're not dealing with the feeling, so it just gets worse. And two, they're picking a thought they don't believe in. So like if my new thought was, I can do this, and I don't believe I can actually do this, my brain's going to tell me all the reasons why I can't. Have any of you ever been like, okay, I'm going to go to the high beam because it's just like the low beam? And then your brain's like, actually, it's not like the low beam because it's 4 feet higher. And then you actually might split the beam because it's 4 feet higher. And that hurts way worse than the low beam. And that's why it's different. And when you stand up there, it looks scarier, right? Your brain tells you all the reasons why it's not true. And so then all you do is go back to this model. If you pick a thought you don't believe, you're going to go straight back to the original unintentional model because your brain's like, nope, just kidding. You don't believe that. This is what we believe. And this is where we're comfortable. So we're going to stay here. Okay, I've talked a lot. Any questions? Okay, Izzy, the result that you want is to go for the half, to land a half on your feet. Like, what is the result you want?
To land a half.
Okay, land half. Okay. In order to land your half, what actions do you actually have to take? So like, tell me 5 things that you need to do to make it your best layout half ever.
I have to be aggressive. Wait to twist. Look for the ground. Stay tight. And push off my leg.
Good. Okay, now somebody else can answer. This might not be exact for you, Izzy, so you think about what would be good for you. But let me know, like, what kind of things do you need to have going on in your brain? Because before she had negative self-talk going on. So let's go to Kendall. What kind of stuff do you need to have going on in your brain?
Positive thinking.
Positive. So
And,
just like, go ahead.
Confidence, like, you know you can do it.
Okay, so positive. I'm just gonna go with positive. Or kind to self. I'm just gonna go with kind to self. Because sometimes like fake positive, like I said, just like that I can do it isn't always super helpful. But when you're being like nice to yourself, like this is a learning process and I'm working towards this, and like you're just being kind to like about being a human being who like has to learn and make mistakes, right? Then we're better off. When we're saying like these fake positive things, to an extent that's helpful. I totally love affirmations, but like if your brain can't get there, it can just spiral into more negativity. So I'm gonna say kind to self. Okay, Meredith, do you need to be like open to like everybody and like talkative, or do you need to be like closed down and shut down and in your own world?
More open to people.
Yeah, open to people and feedback. Okay, and then the other thing that I like you to do that I'm just going to tell you right now is have a plan. Okay, so a lot of times it's really easy for us to say we're just going to do one more on low beam. I'm just going to do one more on low beam and then I'm going to go to medium beam. And then you just say one more and one more and one more until practice is over and you never move up. Right? Your brain finds the out, it finds the escape. So if you go in and you're like, hey, I'm going to do 1 back handspring timer, and then I'm going to do 2 back handsprings on the low beam. And then after I hit one good one, I'm going to remove the panel mats, and then I'm going to attempt 3 on the high beam. And if I don't go for 3, then I'm going to move on to a new skill. Because otherwise, your brain's always going to think that it can get out of it. So having a plan for what you're going to do is usually very helpful, and sticking to that plan. And it doesn't have to be like a punishment plan. It's just like, okay, brain, this is what we're going to do. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm going to run out of brain power. I got to move on. Okay, so I'm going to finish this for you. But typically from here, you need to go to a feeling that is going to help you. So you know how Stacy kind of took you through like a more negative feeling and how'd you breathe through and transition to a good feeling? That's kind of what is happening here. Like we are going to get to a place where you're stopping at this feeling and you're breathing through and you transition to this feeling so that you can take action out of it. Okay, so feelings that are helpful here are like hopeful, possible, capable, brave, motivated, focused, determined, self-confident. Self-confidence is one where you believe in yourself because maybe you don't believe in the skill yet, and that's okay because you haven't done it, but you can be confident in yourself and your abilities and who you are as a human, like that you have your own back. Okay, so these are all really good examples. There's so many more. Encouraged, right? Because you're probably not going to be stoked. You're probably not going to be like, I'm so amped to do this scary thing, right? That's just like not realistic. But maybe you can believe that it's possible for you to take a step forward. And where we go from there is finding a thought that makes you feel the emotion that you picked and one that you believe. So rather than just I can do it, you're going to go to like I do my best one when I am patient in my twist. And I believe I can be patient in my twist. That you could probably get on board with. Like my best turns are when I do this, and I believe I can do that. Or you can say, I'm in the process of learning how to do this. Or this step is going to help me reach my greater goal of blah, blah, blah. See how it's not like I've got this no matter what? It's like a stepping stone. That's what I'm looking for here. Did I lose you? Are you there? Okay. Did I lose you for a minute? Okay,
No.
good. You're all just staring at me like I'm a crazy person. Perfect. So that's how your brain is working. And we're going to help you next week kind of transition to the new one. But you cannot transition unless you completely understand what's going on in your brain. If you try and transition without understanding the unintentional model, it's not going to happen. And that's when you all get frustrated. Like, I'm trying to be positive and it's not working. Right? I know a lot of you have that. Okay. And so this is going to help you understand what's going on and being able to make that transition and actually do a thought swap that's going to help you. And then you keep building on it. Like if you start, it's possible. Like maybe it's like, okay, now I'm doing this. Oh, and then you slowly build to actual confidence in that skill. Okay. I'm over time per usual. I will see you, most of you, at practice tomorrow. Audra, I won't see you at practice tomorrow, but thanks for being a great participant. And make sure you do CTFARs all week. Okay. All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Bye.